Greetings, welcome to the tutorials and tips for constructing the Rocky Horror Laser produced by DeadSpatula Creations. Um, the first thing I want to do is go over some things you'll want to have and what pieces you'll have in your bag, box. Um, Please watch all the videos before you go through and construct it. Um, that way you pick up everything, all the knowledge, and you're familiar with the entire process before you put it together. Now, as for equipment, you will want some clamps. Now, normally I have some higher duty clamps from the hardware store. They're kind of expensive. You also can get these kind of things from Harbor Freight or similar suppliers for cheap, and they actually work pretty well. I use them for a lot of projects, especially early on before I was able to get my own clamps. You can sometimes use rubber bands. They're a little unwieldy. On a lot of the pieces, I don't highly recommend them. But if you don't have clamps, rubber bands will certainly work as well. Additionally, those clamps are really only required if you're going to use a glue with a long set time. The glue I recommend, E6000, takes about 24 hours to fully cure. You can't just press it together and leave it. So if you're going to use E6000, as I recommend, you'll need clamps. But you can use a wide variety of craft glues. Gorilla Glue is pretty good and works well. I've also used Q-Bond, which is a super glue you can get on Amazon. It comes with some build-up powders that I've never been able to get to properly work. But I've been able to get the Q-Bond super glue. It adheres fast, and it adheres strongly. It works really well, especially if you don't need to clamp anything. It might not last as long. I haven't done any long-term how long will this last studies, but I do have enough surface area that even a super glue can hold everything together as long as you're careful with it. One of the reasons I use the E6000 is because of its strength and flexibility. It gives some impact resistance. I also highly recommend a metal file. If you don't have one, there's nothing being done in here that requires one. It'll just allow you to get a better finish and speed up a couple of some of the touch-up work. And you'll get a better finish on your seams if you have a metal file. They come in many types. Additionally, you'll need some sandpaper. This is well used. 100 grit sandpaper is the only type I've used for this project. It's really used to just make sure you have that smooth, contiguous edge, buff out any rough spots. Now, the pieces included in your kit. The first thing to note is the body pieces. One last thing, I forgot to mention this. If you are building this at home, it is critical that you have, if you're printing this at home, it is critical that you have an X-Acto knife. I'm going to try to eliminate the need for the X-Acto knife before I send it out for you. And you'll see, you'll see, and I'll tell you where that moment is. But I do recommend everyone have the X-Acto, or another thin, tiny blade you're going to need it for one step in the construction. So the first pieces you have are the body. It is one piece handle, your targeting device, and the base frame of the device. Like all pieces, it has a number, in this case 5, of holes. These are for pins to go into that will align this piece with this piece. Otherwise, it's a really complicated process, and you'll likely not get it perfectly symmetrical. Now, if you're buying this from me, you shouldn't have this problem. But if you're printing at home, I'm finding some setting, and I'm not sure what the setting is, but I am finding a case where you actually get a burr along this. It creates kind of a flat top on top of the cylinder. It's a little, it's not great, and as you can see here, I've marred the surface. I filed it down with my metal file, and then hit it with some sandpaper to smooth it out. I'm doing this for you. If you're buying it from me, you will see the discoloration because of the filing. Don't worry, we're gonna be painting this, and that's gonna go away. So let us move on to the curves. The curved pieces are, as you can see, curved, and they are to support the two outside tines. Like the body, they have the holes for alignment, for some alignment pins. They're also labeled. You can see these are both labeled 1. One of them has a T, one of them has a B. The 1 pieces go together, and the B will be used the B side will attach to the base of your gun, and the T side will attach to the tine. Now you have 4 of these curved pieces. The other 2 are labeled 2. So don't get them confused. You can't really put a 1 and a 2 together and it look right, but I mark them just so you absolutely know which piece goes with which. Now the next piece is the tine. As all pieces of this gun, it comes in 2 halves. One of your tines is labeled with an L. One of your tines is labeled with an S. That stands for short and long. You have 3 longs, 3 shorts. A single tine is 1 short piece and 1 long piece. As before with the base, it's notable, this is your attachment point here. This provides a large, stable surface for the glue to adhere to. So you want to make earlier versions were flat and just included a small cross section for attachment. It didn't go too well, so we designed a large surface area for the glue to adhere to. That should help you out. Now, I've mentioned and shown that there are pins in all these things, and I've called them alignment pins. They're designed to make it really easy to put these together and get these to align properly on all edges. I found that the halves were really hard to put together, and so I built the alignment pins to fix it. A little pin looks like this. a little tiny piece. It's actually a square rectangle. It's a you know, rectangular cube with the corners cut off to make it easier to put them in. The short stubby, we need 18 for this to fill all the holes. I have provided, I am currently providing 24 pins in each kit. That way, if you lose one, you know, you're okay. They are tiny, so you want to have a few spares. Those are all the pieces. Those are all the things you'll need to put this together. My next video will list how to put the halves together, and some tips in the construction stage. See you then.